Hey guys, Malasar here with another battle report. This game was played last night, the 3rd of December. Um, Swedish Comp, High Elves versus Demons of Chaos. My opponent's Demons of Chaos list was a 14.3 on Swedish Comp, so let's jump into it. This list is off of memory. I actually didn't get an exact copy this time, but it was a keeper, level 4 Loris Slanesh. He had, I think, a greater and two lessers, though it might have been Exalted and a lesser, I can't remember. His core was 3 units of 10 Demonettes, one had a banner, and then 2 units of 10 Blue Horrors, with both having banners. His special choices were 2 units of 4 Fiends, 3 Flamers, and yeah, and then his rare was 2 Soul Grinders. The Soul Grinder one was Mark of Slanesh, one was Mark of Nurgle. For his list, he ended up at a 14.2, which meant he was up by 200 victory points to start. Which, again, like I said in the last video, this is totally fine with me. I'm okay with that. For his list, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I thought that it was okay for Swedish Comp. It didn't have a cannon. He was clearly playing for the comp pack here. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to say other than I know he was going for the mini Kako list, but as we'll talk about, he actually didn't roll up Kako Bomb at the start of the game. He rolled up Acquiescent Slicing Shards, and then 2 other spells that he didn't even attempt to cast. Um, for me, I think that this is a favorable matchup. I've got a lot of shooting, and then the Phoenix Guard can just kind of tank through a Soul Grinder and roll for sixes. And plus, my magical support's far superior in terms of threat arcs. For the Lore Master just always has something to cast here, and then the Dragon Princes with the Noble could actually do just fine against the Soul Grinder in close combat. So let's jump into it. So this game was played pretty late at night, and I was a couple beers in, because Warhammer is about 10 times more fun with beers. I think I forgot to mention in the last picture that he also took 3 flamers. The flamers were, he felt like he could use just a little bit of anti-chaff shooting, um, and I think he had extra points and didn't want to, break that 14 threshold, so the flamers are there. He doesn't actually like flamers. He knows they're garbage. It was just for the comp, and so he could do something in the shooting phase. Um, so going through deployment, I put on my right flank Helms, Reavers, Dragon Princes, Phoenix Guard, Archers, 3 Bolt Throwers, and Reavers. I missed the deployment picture, sorry. And this is at the end of my turn 1, going across his deployment, starting on the left. He has both the Furies there in the woods to get some soft cover starting. 10 Demonettes, Fiends, Furies, um, the Slanesh Soul Grinder, the Nurgle Soul Grinder. Behind that's the Keeper. Hiding because we were playing that. The Soul Grinder would be big enough for me not to be able to see the Keeper to start the game with the Lore Master. Fiends, Demonettes, Horrors, and Demonettes again. Um, I won the roll to go first with +1, and I moved up like so. The Phoenix Guard jumped into the building. The Dragon Princess slid up just to be able to threaten his entire flank there. I think the distance to the Horrors was an 18, and then everything else was kind of within that range too. My Silver Helm slid up again, putting the Horrors and the Daemonettes at range 18. The Shadow Warriors stayed still because they just had some really sweet targets, and I didn't feel like burning any ballistic skill there. Um, and everything, the Reavers pivoted. They weren't actually deployed like that, just so they'd be able to see the entire board, and in case his Furies wanted to come challenge my Bolt Throwers. Magic, I started off with a 3 dice mini Searing Doom attempt. I met the casting roll by rolling triple sixes. I did not wound the Soul Grinder, and I did a Strength 6 hit a to myself, and I passed my 4 port save. So really nothing happened. That was the magic shooting. The Prince and Shadow Warriors popped a wound on the Nurgle Soul Grinder. Archers did a wound to the Flamers, and my Bolt Throwers just completely whiffed on the Soul Grinders too. I was actually multi-shotting because the odds are in my favor that if I multi-shot, I'd actually get a wound through, where Single bolting to hope to roll a 5 to maybe do D3 wounds just isn't a good idea there. So that's the end of my turn 1. I did a whopping 2 wounds, but I think my movement phase I'm in pretty good position here for some late counter charges. This is Daemons of Chaos, turn 1. The blue lines you see on the left flank are the Harpy's positioning, because with the wings he wasn't able to pivot the unit, so that's where they are. The Fiends in the center fly up there, really aggressive to challenge the Archers, um, or the Phoenix Guard. The Flamers slide up. The Soul Grinders advance just to, again, threaten the entire middle of the board there. Keeper steps up to be within 12 to start lashing some Dragon Princes. Demonettes and Demonettes in the center slide, or shuffle, I should say. Everything else kind of stays put. Reign of Chaos is Tzeentch's Firestorm. It hits me a lot. It scatters off a bit. But the big one is it hits the archers and kills 6 of them, which was kind of a bummer at the to start the game off there. The Flamers fire into the building and kill a Phoenix Guard, which was awesome. The he gets slicing shards off in his magic phase against my Shadow Warriors, killing 3 of them, which gets him another Fiend, which was pretty cool. So those Fiends there that are redirecting my Dragon Princes now have 5. Um, and the Lash does not kill a Dragon Prince. I pass my armor or something like that. Oh well, it was he lashed him. Yeah, so just like I said, like I just passed my armor save, which was nice. So again, not a very good turn for him. He killed a couple archers, and that was it. And he without having Cackle Bomb here, I think the list really struggles because that's his big threat arc, and when he you know um, puts all of his he rolled a 5 on the magic phase, which meant I let through slicing charge and stopped acquiescence because acquiescence is a nightmare sometimes. Um, but yeah, so slicing shards just killed a couple shadow warriors. Let's move to high elf turn 2. So this is the end of high elf turn 2. My reavers redirect in the center. Dragon princes charge the fiends. Reavers charge the harpies on the left. Um, and then both Silverhelm units charge the Daemons Chaos Core units with one into the Horrors, one into the Daemonettes. Magic, I again don't do anything. I get like 10 dice. I go for 3 dice ice shards on the unengaged harpies in the center of the field, and I fail to meet the casting value even with the Book of Hoeth. Um, but my shooting clears them anyway after again not rolling super hot. You'll notice my archers are just kind of hanging out on the center of the table there, and they failed a march check to escape the fiends, which kind of sucks. Um, Combat, the Reavers pop the harpies and reform to face the center. These silver helms hit the horrors, kill 5. The blue horror or the pink horror that's separated um, kills the silver helm with the strength to attack. He holds on steadfast. The helms that charge the demonettes only kill 3, but I don't lose any return, so they hold on steadfast. And then the dragon princes do 1, 2, 3. They do 6, 7 wounds, 8 wounds. They do 8 wounds to the fiends. He then only loses 1 to crumble, and I lose a helm in return, or a dragon prince in return, or something. And then shooting phase. Sorry, I know I go out of order, but this was pretty epic. With the prince popping his potion of strength at the start of the turn, he and the shadow warriors combine to do 4 wounds to the keeper. So his keeper is pretty much screwed now. He can either back away, in which case he's going to face all of my bolt throwers, my magic, and my lore, and my prince could still probably sneak the gap there to go get him. And he's only got 1 wound, so he's in a bad spot there. So this is the end of Daemons of Chaos turn 2. The Fiends crush the Archers. The Demonettes actually tried a long charge on the Reavers out there and failed. His Demonettes in the Woods charge my Prince's unit. And then both Soul Grinders and the Keepers charge the redirecting Reavers. You'll notice the Keeper is no longer there. No, my Reavers did not kill him. He rolled up a 7 on the Winds of Magic, so the eye stays closed, thankfully. Or I mean, if he had rolled a 4, that would have been awesome too. But anyway, he rolls 3 dice slicing shards on the Dragon Princes. irresistible forces, miscasts, and doesn't jump in the hole. He does a strength 6 hit to um, his wizard and all the other channelers. And it does wound. He fails his ward save, which is a dead keeper, which is really a tough break for my opponent. But I mean, he was dead anyway. Like he would have ended up even charging the redirecting reavers right in front of my dragon princes had he backed away. My prince is gonna go hunt him down, and then I still have 3 bolt throwers just kicking around the hill. So there's literally no place his keeper could hide where I wouldn't be able to get that last wound off on him, in all likelihood. Um, So moving on, the fiends crush the archers. They're dead. The dragon princes finish the fiends off and reform to face the soul grinders that kill the reavers and overrun into my phoenix guard. The silver helms fighting the blue horrors clear them, and then the demonettes and the silver helms continue their slap fight. Oh, I forgot to mention that the demonettes charge my prince. I kill 4 of them on the stand and shoot. They get there, and then my prince with his attacks kills another 3 of them or something, and he kills like a shadow warrior. So we stand there like that. Um, oh, and then you'll notice his blue horrors are facing like the flank. That was a mistake. He's got a super sensitive computer, laptop mouse, and it kind of clicked and turned him. I can't remember when that happened, but it definitely wasn't in the movement phase. It was just something weird. So it'll be corrected in the next picture. They're still facing forward. This is the end of High Elf turn 3. This was really kind of the last picture because it's the end of the game here. The Phoenix Guard are fighting the Soul Grinders. My Dragon Prince's countercharge. The Prince clears the Demonettes. Silver Helms finish those Demonettes, and the Silver Helms against the Blue Horrors. Keep grinding with them. My Bolt Throwers do 4 wounds. I put Wizen's on the Prince's unit and Magic so he can really finish those Demonettes or at least survive the incoming attacks. Excuse me. I do 2 wounds to the Soul Grinder. My Starlance BSB whiffs. My Phoenix Guard actually put the 2 wounds on him. The Slanesh one does 2 wounds to my Lore Master. I fail both my ward saves, which is kind of frustrating. But this is the end of the game. We actually go one more turn. We get to turn 4. But at the end of the turn 4, both Soul Grinders are dead. My Lore Master is dead. Because again, I just failed all those ward saves, and I lose like 5 more Phoenix Guard from a Thunderstorm. It was awesome. I failed 8 ward save checks in a row, which was, hey, to each his own. The horrors died to those silver helms, and we talked it out after this, where his fiends killed all the bolt throwers. I got his flamers from the reavers who charged on top of 4 and killed them, and then his soul grinders. So he scored 850 points from me, which was the 3 bolt throwers, the Lore Master, and the Archers, and 1 unit of Reavers was all I got. Yeah, and then he was up to, so he was actually at 1050 for points, 1050 after factoring in comp. I scored 2200 from him because he had 1 unit Demonettes and 1 unit of Fiends left at the end of the game, plus his general bonus. So I think it would have been, we figured it was about an 1100 point difference, which is like a 17-3 or an 18-2 or something like that in favor of the High Elves. So that was really nice. It was a good win. And good gameplay by my opponent. I think, like I said, he had kind of lost this game without getting Cackle Bomb in the very beginning. His keeper no longer had a huge threat arc. And then I can actually handle 2 Soul Grinders with a Phoenix Guard. This list is pretty scary for a lot of other people, just because the 2 toughness 7 and then a keeper makes for a lot of difficult threats to counter. If he wasn't playing for comp, I think he definitely would have taken the Skull Cannon just to have some kind of ranged threat. Drop the Flamers for sure, and that could have been a different game there too. So I think for him, he's gonna try a no Lord Swedish Comp Demons Chaos list, just because the greater demons can be really frustrating to play, especially in Swede Comp where you're actually penalized quite a bit for him. And that'll give him extra points to do something with. I'm not sure what. Probably Plague Drones, because Plague Drones. Anyway, so that's the game. Hope you enjoyed it.